If I had to start learning AI automation from scratch, after knowing what I have done for the past 7 years, there are certain things which I would completely do different. I would not install 10 different tools out there. I would not start by watching some random tutorial. And I would definitely not start by building the next new AI product. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap which I would take, and not the hyped up version, but the real version which actually work. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So first, let's talk why are people stuck? So you open YouTube, someone is building AI agent. You open Thread, someone is talking about the new update in AI. You open LinkedIn, there is a post regarding the Zapier versus Make versus N10. And suddenly you start thinking, where do I even start? Here's the truth. The AI automation space is too noisy right now, really noisy. Every week there is new tool, new model, or a new update. And the most content out there is either too technical or too surface level. So people end up in a loop. They watch 10 tutorials, install 5 different tools, build nothing, get overwhelmed, and quit. And I have seen this happening over and over again. And I want to save you from this thing. But here's the thing nobody tells. Tool changes, AI automation thinking doesn't. So let me explain what do I mean. So every automation, whether it is a simple or a complex one, it follows a basic simple structure out there. There is a concept called input, logic, and output. So all the automation in the world follow this simple structure of input, logic, and output. So input is where your data come from. It could be form submission, it could be a Gmail message, it could be an entry inside the Google Sheet. It is basically a trigger which starts the workflow or automation. Logic is what happened in the between. This is where you decide what to do with the input data. Should I send it to database? Should I check the condition? Should I ask AI to look after it? This is the brain where everything happens. So now output is the result. Do you want to send an email, post an update in the Instagram, or make an entry inside the Google Sheet? Whatever action you want to happen at the end. Now it doesn't matter if you are using the N10, Zapier, Make, or even writing the code. The core concept remains the same. Input, logic, and output. Now if I was starting from the zero, I wouldn't obsess over the tool. I was obsessed over understanding the flow, and then switching from one tool to another become much simpler out there. All right, now that your mindset is sorted, now it's time for the next step. Now let's start by picking the one tool. Not 5, not 3, just one tool. And I would be completely honest with you, I would pick N10 over here. Not because it's perfect, it's because it is flexible, it is scalable, and it's properly visual out there, and it has so much of capability more than Zapier and Make. But it doesn't matter if you want to go with a Zapier or Make, it's completely fine. As I told you earlier, you shouldn't obsess over tool, you should obsess over understanding the flow out there. Think of it like learning a language. You don't learn 5 languages at a time. You learn the first language, and then learning the second language become much simpler. So commit to one tool out there. It could be either N10, Zapier, Make. Take a month, 2 or 3 to understand a tool completely and how does the workflow and the flow works inside that. Once you understood, then you can make your own choice of which tool is better for which functionality, and you can easily switch out there. Now let's talk about AI, because this is the where most of the confusion happens. People think AI automation is something which does everything on magic. If I give the prompt, everything will happen automatically. I don't have to do anything. I'll just sit back and relax. And that's a very wrong behavior out there. AI is a decision layer in your automation. It's not a magic. It's a tool that helps to handle dynamic and unstructured input data. Let me give you an example. Let's say a user did a form submission, okay, and now in the form submission there is some kind of a sentence which user is written, and now you want to identify, does this sentence is a negative sentence or a positive sentence regarding the feedback of your product. Now you will feed this sentence to the AI, and AI will tell you is it a positive or negative. So from the unstructured data, now AI helped you to make a decision, it is a positive or negative, and now you send this answer to your database and store it over there. So input, we have a form submission, we have a AI layer which is a logic layer over here, and then we have a output layer where we are storing our answer in our database. As I told you, same flow is working over here as well. So in this workflow, AI is just a simple one layer which is making a decision of positive and negative. Now let's compare to a non-AI workflow. Let's say for example, someone do the authentication into your system. Okay, so authentication become an input. Now we are getting the username from in an input. Now we will check, does the username exist inside a database or not. It's a simple query checking in a database. If it exists, then allow the user. If it doesn't exist, then tell the user to log in. So over here, we have one input, one logic layer, and 2 different route of output. So you're getting the flow remains the same. It's always input, logic, and output. So AI is never the whole flow out there. So AI is one of the part of the logic layer. So here's what I would do if I were starting fresh. First, I would learn to build the workflow without learning AI. And once I am experienced with the trigger, the node part, then the output and everything, then I would take some project which has the AI layer in it. Then I would learn that, I would master that, then pick another project out there. That's how you learn it. Now, if you learn in this way, AI just become one of the tool which you add in your skill set. Alright, now you probably might be thinking, what should I build next now? Since I have learned so much of things, now I want to build something and show to the world that I can make a AI automation workflow. That's a great question. Now let me give you 4 real world categories which you should build on as a beginner. So first is a content automation. Okay, so inside that you could automate your creation part, repurpose your content or scheduling part. Now you can create your LinkedIn post, then Instagram post or Twitter post, Facebook post. So in short, make your content automation. Second is a lead management. Now automate how you capture and organize lead. For example, let's say on your website, someone comes and fill the form. Now, once they have filled the form, where to store this particular information, how to send the notification to the user, how to send them a mail, or how to notify you that someone has filled the form, either to send it to the Gmail, either notify you via Slack or WhatsApp. This is kind of a lead management purpose out there. So you can do it as a second project. Now let's come to a third project. So we'll include AI in this. It's called as customer support. Okay. Now let's say you have your service or someone want to know about your service. They message you on the WhatsApp. Now, instead of you manually replying them back, let your bot do the handling. Create a bot in such a way that whatever question your user asks, your bot analyze that question, understand your requirement, what your services are and what question user is asking, and then reply them accordingly. So you can make your own customer support bot out there in your WhatsApp number. Fourth is kind of an internal operation. Now, internal operation could be anything. So it is something that which you are doing daily on a repetitive manner. So for example, for me, I spent a lot via credit card, and I noticed one thing, that I was not able to track my expenses with the credit card, because if I want to, there are multiple credit cards. If I want to track, I have to go to each and every app and open it and see it. That's too much of headache over there. But I sensed one thing, they always send me mail. So that's the reason I took their mail, I sent them through AI, got the answer like how much amount from where, and store it in my Notion page. So my 4 credit card spending become my input. AI find the amount from where everything has been find it on from there, stored in my Notion is an output. So you see this kind of internal project you can do for your repetitive manner. So one more advice, don't try to build tens of things out there. Build 2 to 3 or 4 things, but that should solve a real purpose out there. Not just the sake of a building, you should build anything. Okay. And now before wrapping up, I know it's a lot of theory knowledge out there. I want to point out some basic mistake the beginner makes out there. Okay. So mistake number 1 is tool hopping. Stop switching tool, commit to one and master it. So mistake number 2 is overcomplication. I don't know why, but the beginner people have so much of obsession of too many nodes out there. The 3 node workflow can perform much better than 20 node workflow out there. As I mentioned one story of myself regarding the finance workflow, that finance workflow is only 4 node. First is the input from the Gmail. Second is my AI layer node. Third is the kind of a set input node, and fourth is the Notion node. That's it, nothing else. And that is working perfectly fine from the past 8 months. So don't overcomplicate your workflow. Mistake number 3 is not testing. The beginner people might get the workflow from somewhere else because there are so many workflow out there. Copy that workflow, paste it to your workflow, add your credential, and they think that it will work perfectly fine. That's not how it works. You always have to do testing thoroughly. Just pass some input, check is everything happening proper in logic layer, and am I getting proper data at the output layer. Mistake number 4 is ignoring documentation. Once you enter into this particular AI automation part, you're going to build tons and tons of automation out there. If you don't maintain the documentation, you will quickly forget what does this particular automation do. So I would highly recommend that please maintain a documentation which would at least tell you what this workflow does. But if you want to send this workflow to someone else, they can read the documentation and identify what this workflow do. Mistake number 5, I have also done this mistake, that monetizing early. I have built 1 or 2 workflow, let's start selling it. Money game is a marathon and not a sprint. Everyone wants to make a money, but if you are still learning, focus on learning. Money is the outcome which will come once you have the skill. People will come behind you that make this workflow, and at that time you can charge it. Mark my word, this will really help you once you become confident with your workflow. money will flow into your pocket. So here is a realistic roadmap. If I were to start learning AI automation from scratch in 2016, I would do this thing. Month number 1, learn one automation tool, make 5 deep automation project, understand the input, logic, output format. Month number 2, add AI layer in your workflow. Start with a simple use case like generating the text or analyze the data. Month number 3, start building a real project. The real project which solve your problem or the client problem. After 3 months, now you will have clarity of how does the AI automation everything works. Now, if you want, you can choose the tool according to yourself, but I would still say stick to one tool, commit it and properly master it, because people will pay for your niche understanding and the tool understanding and whatever you can do with that. If you have found this helpful, it would be a great help if you could press the like button, share with your friend. Let me know your feedback in the comment box. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care.